Hi, folks. I am Kevin Iole from Yahoo Sports. Thank you for joining me. And my guest right now is going to be in the main event of UFC Vegas 53, a guy that's really been on a roll recently. He's won four bonuses in his last six fights in the UFC, has absolutely been tearing it up and has a big fight on Saturday against Rob Font. Of course, I'm talking about Marlon Chito Vera. Chito, how you doing, my friend?
I'm feeling great. I'm excited. I'm happy, and I'm enjoying this fight week, and I can't wait till Saturday night.
You're one of many athletes who, kind of had that roller coaster in your career, some down, some up and whatnot. But you have really been on a rise recently. What do you attribute the turnaround in your career to? Even one of the fights you lost, I know the Song Yadong fight, a lot of people thought you won that fight, right? So how do you attribute the turnaround in your career?
I just believe consistency is key in life. I've been consistent in my training, in my focus, in just finding ways to get better, and I've been very active in the cage. And I just once I'm done with a fight, I switch the page. I go back to the gym. If I'm healthy, there's no point to take a couple months off and forget about I'm an athlete. So I'm just very consistent. I'm doing my thing. I train every day, and that's the only way to improve in life.
You're from Ecuador, and I was going to say I don't know a lot of MMA fighters from Ecuador. I don't know a lot of fighters of any kind from Ecuador, and maybe there are that I don't know of. But so when you come from a place like that, that's not a hotbed of the sport you're in, does it make it difficult? And did it force you to do things that other fighters didn't have to do to find competition and get yourself up there?
It make it so hard because when I start, there was no road, there was no guide, there was no like this is where you should go. So I feel sometimes like I don't even know how I remain in the company for this long because at the beginning I was just kind of like playing being the fighter. My work ethic has always been good. I've always been like the guy that tries really hard. But at the beginning, I was when I see videos of me hitting mitts or grappling back in the day, it looks like a joke, but I was being seriously about it. I was being persistent. I was just trying to figure it out. And once I moved to the US, I think I was like, wow, okay, this is how training feels. This is real. So I was like, okay, now I gotta figure it out how to level up and figure it out. But it was quite a roller coaster back then.
You got it done. Now, I guess the question is like, what does that impact on your family, especially when you move away for the first time? You say to your wife that, the people you love, hey, I'm going to go to another continent. I'm going to go somewhere else and try to, go after. I mean, that I imagine that's got to put an incredible strain on your personal life.
That was a hard thing to do. Leave my home for a year, left two kids, my wife, and just kind of like figured it out, tried to make some money to bring them at some point because when I left my house, I didn't have more than 6 grand. So I kind of like everything I was making from some people that support me, little sponsor. I was like, okay, I told my wife, keep the money. My family will support you. Her family will support it, but just let me do this because if I stay here, we won't go nowhere. So my a good wife is everything in life. I think like a bad woman can drag you down, but a good woman will take you a long way. And she was able to handle it. She was able to stay with two kids by herself, and just wait for me. And when I left, I had a lot of cancellations on fights, so it was crazy. Like it just get harder and harder. And I had 5 fights canceled back to back. So I was like, I need to make some money to bring my family. So I'm just teaching a lot of classes, trying to survive myself in the US and just trying to, stay alive. I was living in the fighter house. I was doing everything possible to figure it out. And, you know, I just got a fight in Australia like 8 months later, and I was like, okay, this is it. If you win this fight, you remain in the UFC. If you lose this fight, you're gone. So I had a lot on my plate trying to like get. I don't want to go back home as a loser. I want to go home as somebody that failed. So I just told myself like, do this thing, get this win, and bring your family to the US, and that's what I did. I flew back to Ecuador, back bring them back. I was here by January, so that was a little bit of a struggle. But there's nothing sweet that comes just because you gotta go through a little hard times to
Sure.
figure these things out.
What was it like when you first moved here? And did you speak the language? And then when you're not making money and you're training like crazy, you're teaching classes, and I know you're not getting rich off of those classes. Like, what are the kind of things that you had to sacrifice that maybe people don't understand? Like, because you gave up a lot in order to pursue this dream. Like, can you talk about a little bit of some of the things that you had to give up because you couldn't afford?
Comfort, a house in Ecuador, and you don't need too much in Ecuador to have a good life. So, the comfort of being with my family, the comfort of being with people that will never let me down. So they will figure out how to support me. But I left everything because I had a dream that was bigger than my comfort, that was bigger than what I was wishing. Nothing comes just by wishing. Things comes when you actually go there and work for them. So I left everything behind. I say I'm gonna do this thing happen. I'm gonna be the guy that left everything to make it happen. And I probably wasn't the best fighter back then, but I knew I had the heart. I knew I have the will to keep going, and I figured it out and make it happen.
Your chin is notoriously good. I mean, I've seen guys, hit you on the chin and you just take those punches. Is that something naturally that you've always been good at, Marlon, or is it something that you work on to try to build up your resistance to punches?
I don't think. I don't know. I don't think you can build that. I honestly, I'm trying not to get punched, but I think being in great shape, being healthy, check your living habits. You know, don't drink alcohol, don't go out late at night, don't eat bad food. I think all that play in a way that you can take more punishment. You can dig a little deeper, and you'll be fine. So that's why I keep a healthy lifestyle. You know, from the gym to my house, spend a lot of time with my family, but I don't have nothing that drags me down. I don't blow up in between camps. I'm not drinking every day. I'm not going out on the weekends. All I do is work. All I do is spend time with my family. All I do is, barbecue with friends and, have a good time. And I'm not fucking around. I'm gonna do all crazy shit later on after I retire. Right now, I'm just put my eyes on the prize, and I want to be a world champion. So, sacrifice everything for a huge goal, and that's why I believe I can take one.
I wrote about Rob Font, and I think you're in a similar situation. I want to mention this to you. So you have Sterling as a champion, and then I think 4 of the first 6 people in the rankings, he's 5, or either champions or former champions. You've got Henry Cejudo coming back. So your division is just absolutely filled with elite fighters and former champions who are going to get opportunities just because of their background. How do you maintain your focus and, stay on the path when hey, Henry Cejudo is coming back. They're going to probably slip him in there, and, he's going to jump ahead of me, and those kind of things, which on the surface would seem to be unfair and maybe make you, want to say, what the hell, what am I doing here?
Best thing is not to pay attention. There's things you can control, there's things you cannot control. Let's say I go in there, knock him out, and then I feel I need I'm ready for a title shot, and then they just give it to somebody else. I'm okay with that. Just don't be a bitch and keep going. I don't really have that mentality of oh, I deserve it, you should give it to me. If I win a fight and I feel I deserve the next shot, and the UFC decide to give it to somebody else, it won't make any difference on my life. I'm gonna be like, cool. That means I didn't actually deserve it. So I don't really, it really won't bother me. I don't, there's nothing to do wasting energy on things you cannot control. So I always tell this to people, don't cry about things. If you didn't get it, just because maybe you don't really deserve it. So earn it, find a way.
So we talked about your life, and a lot of it's about money, the fact that you didn't have it and you're trying to get it. So what is the most important in becoming a UFC champion, the accomplishment of having that belt around your waist and knowing that you did something that very few people in history can do, or the money that comes with becoming the champion that, you know, that you get?
Both. Both are things that I want. I want to achieve things that regular people can, just because I like to be different. I like to do big things in life, and all the opportunities that came with the belt can change my life. You know, I can do investments. I can set my kid for the future, and just not just not make the money and have the money, because that's also how many people with money have awful life. So
Yeah.
I want at least my kids to know, like, hey, yes, there's a lot of money now that you win a fight, but you gotta learn that this didn't happen just because I'm cool. This didn't happen because somebody came and handed me this check. It's a lot of work. So I wanna show with example. I wanna let them know, like, nothing comes just because. You gotta go and do something to get things. So I'm all about that, and I feel, you know, as a parent, we can only create a better version of us and our kids. So that's my goal in life. Be happy, have a good family, and, you know, don't need anything. Be kind of sad.
Maybe you should walk out to Bobby McFerrin on Saturday. Don't worry, be happy. That might be the perfect song for you to come out to, right?
I like the song, yeah.
So, hey, let's wrap it up with this. Rob Font, obviously a terrific fighter. You know, he had an interesting fight with Aldo, you know, where he lost all 5 rounds in that fight. But I thought they were competitive rounds, especially the first 3, you know, when Rob started going for it in the last 2, Aldo, you know, maybe cleaned up a little bit more. But what do you take from that fight, and what kind of fight can people who are going to tune in on Saturday to watch you and him go at it? What kind of fight can they expect?
They will expect a really fun fight, you know. If he comes forward, we'll meet in the middle, and if he decides to go for a walk, I'm gonna find him, and, you know, I think I'm gonna put in on an exciting performance, and I'm gonna do everything to win this fight.
Do you think you can finish him given the styles that you have?
I think I can finish him.
Interesting. All right, that would be something else. Last question before I let you go. You know, you got a little notoriety before because of, you know, the win over Sean O'Malley and the way that he reacted to it and everything. I know, you know, you're probably over him, but I wonder, he's now in the top 15 because of what he said and what happened in the aftermath of that fight. Is there a little bit of part of you that wants to fight him again just to, you know, prove that what happened wasn't a fluke?
You know, that's up to him or the UFC. You know, if they call us, they pay, I fight. You know, I'm not over him. I was never worried about him or nothing. I was like, he's just another fight. You know, I don't have a space in my head for, you know, all the cloud, all the, you know what I'm saying. I'm a fighter, and I already knocked him out. If he, you know, if you want it, then come and get some.
Good attitude. Love to hear it. Marlon Chito Vera, he will be fighting Rob Font on Saturday at Apex in Las Vegas, UFC Vegas 53. Marlon, thank you so much, my friend. Good luck to you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.